Hello. Hello. Welcome to SEX Biz Saturdays. I should just start calling it Biz Saturdays just to make sure that, I'm able to be on and, not have Meta get mad at me or anything like that. But I am here, y'all, to answer any of your lovely questions, anything that you want to ask around business, around the business coaching, around any kind of questions that you have. Maybe it's about marketing, maybe it's about strategy, maybe it's about getting clients, maybe it's about anything. So please make sure you submit your question to qrco.de/successama. Let me type that here on Instagram just so y'all can have it. I will pin it to the top so y'all can go ahead and submit your questions if you do not want to submit them into the chat. So there you go. Let's see, pin comment. There we go. All right. So welcome. We are live on Facebook. We are live on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and on Instagram. Answering all of your questions, anything that you want to know, anything that you need to know, anything that's popping up for you with regards to your business, please go ahead and answer please send me your questions. Last week, we talked a little bit about, someone asked a question about how could they promote themselves as a hypnosis person. And, I said it's all about the lead magnet. So today, I of course, want to answer your questions, but I do want to think about sort of all the other aspects of business, when it comes to your erotic business. So for those of you, I am putting together a podcast. So if you are making 85K, 100K or more, I would love to have you on my podcast to talk about your experiences, to talk about what you do, and overall just to get a glimpse of your biggest lessons learned. And I was just recording with Zoe Ligon yesterday, and it was so good. And one of the things that she mentioned that I thought was just super powerful was that, you should create the things that you love to do, right? It's sort of like when an artist has an idea, right, about something that they love to do, they create the thing, right? Because they're passionate about it. They really care about this thing. And a lot of times we don't do that as entrepreneurs. We're really taught to be like, who is your audience? Hone into your audience. And when you hone into your audience, then you can see what they want and deliver kind of based on what they want. However, when we think about that, when we actually just feed into what we want to do, then that's when we attract the people that want to come into, who want to come in, right? So, so thinking about this, I like to think about when I created, D-Fest, right? I woke up and I was like, oh, D-Fest, right? And the people who wanted to come to D-Fest came to D-Fest. Now, of course, if you make something or you create something, you want to market it because once you market it, that's the way that you're going to get people in. So I think it's just super, super important for us to think about what are the things that we're passionate about? And then our audience will come to us, right? If you want to go see a show, right? It's because that person created the show, right? So they are attracting the audience that they want to have. So I want you to really kind of think about that and think about, what are the ways in which that you are creating the things that you love to create and then promoting those things to help attract, your right audience. the right audience for you, and the audience who would be interested in the things that you are interested in and love to deliver, right? So I highly, highly encourage you to create the things that you want to create, and your audience will come to you. And I think that's very opposite of what we hear a lot of times on when it comes to business advice. I'm pretty sure my business coach probably would not encourage that, but I don't know. Let's see. I'm gonna ask the question to see if that really, if that might be the case. I see someone here wants to be live. No, but if you want to have your question asked, you can go ahead and go to that pin post and submit your question there. But I will not be taking yes unless you actually have a business question. So, and you're someone that I actually probably know. But no worries. You can always submit your question anywhere on, Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, and I will happily answer that question for you there. So it is is it the second week or third week of June? I'm trying to think about this, right? Because I think I talked about, protecting your IP and all of that stuff. I just realized, I hope y'all were able to hear me in my microphone. Okay, good. I thought I had lost you. Anyway, you like the new glasses? Thank you. They're not new. I have like 50 pair of like blue light glasses that I love to wear because, I'm in front of the damn computer all the time. So if you haven't gotten some, blue light glasses when you sit in front of the computer, like I sit in front of the computer, it's best that you do that. Or if you're just in front of the TV, it's just best to like get these things. Yes. Okay. So today I wanted to talk about a little bit about like courses and workshops when it comes to like developing and delivering your services. And one of the most important things that you can do, I think, when it comes to delivering or developing your service, well, I would say developing your services first, is if you want to create a workshop or something, you got to create, I think it's important for you to create some kind of outline, especially for visual learners, because they need to have a flow of the information and how it's going. I know some folks like to, maybe just kind of riff off the top of their head, and then maybe they're really good and witty and have the words to be able to do that. But what I find is that it can be really inconsistent. And so you really want to have some consistency when it comes to delivering your workshops and courses and whatnot, because that is the thing that is going to draw people in. I've had someone, it's so funny, I've had someone come to my social media class, I think like 2 or 3 times, and they're like, oh, well, you always kind of say something different. It's always the same information that you're putting out, but then at the same time, when different people are in the class, they ask different questions, and therefore, you'll, give out different answers. Or there are certain things that you might highlight in each of these, in each of the classes. And that's very, very true. Of course, whenever you do your workshop live, you're always going to have questions that kind of pop up. Whenever you do have questions that pop up, I think it's really important to ensure that you put those in your presentation the following time, right? So maybe, someone asks a question like, in my social media class, I haven't really talked about, Chat GPT, but Chat GPT always gets brought up, right? So that might be something I want to insert into the next class, because it would be helpful for people to know, like, hey, I can use maybe Chat GPT for this or that and that. Now, if you haven't noticed, one of those things is, I don't know if you saw that little button there, but it said, I think you have to, or you don't, I don't know if you have to, but they, I think, encourage you to hit a button if your content is AI generated. So they're really like, I don't know, because, we're depending on a lot, right? AI to do things or help us create ideas. But it's very, very interesting to see how now I don't want to say we're getting attacked by Meta, but they are kind of being like, hey, wait a minute, like we don't want people just putting out AI content constantly. You know what I mean? Because AI just has the ability to do so much. So I think it's imperative that we do, go to AI or can utilize AI, but you should always use AI based off your own original content. So I definitely encourage you to, write blogs, write articles, write the things that, of course, you feel passionate about, that you want to get the message out there. And then from there, you can use ChatGPT or whatever AI system you like to use. I know my business partner Tia likes to use Jasper. Whatever AI system you like to use, you can use that AI system to pick out maybe some nuggets of what you say in your actual blog, right? So that's super, super helpful when it comes to creating content. You're needing some content ideas, and ChatGPT can go in, or your AI, whatever engine you use, AI can go in and just kind of block out whatever you are asking for. So I highly encourage you to definitely do that. Check it out and see if it's a good fit for you. I did that. If you go back to like my Velvet Lips page, and you'll see like January and February posts, I use my blog to be the base of the content for the AI to pick out whatever it needed from my content. So super excited. Oh, hey, Lexi. So yes. So again, y'all, if you have questions, please make sure you go to the pin post, and you can go ahead and submit your questions there. Speaking of social media, make sure, if you haven't checked out my free social media cheat sheet, please check that out. It's qrco.de/5 solutions. And it's just 5 solutions for your social media problem. If you're someone like me who is constantly, but if you're getting flagged or shadow banned or something by AI, and the appeal is not working, you can use that cheat sheet to help you along. And then once you have the cheat sheet, if you come to my class, I kind of do a little deeper dive into that, the sheet itself. What's interesting is I've had my profile up for a long time. I haven't changed what is on it, but all of a sudden the AI flagged my profile, like my actual profile bio. And so I had to change that up. So if you've noticed on my One Marla Stewart page, you'll see I think I say business coach for intimate entrepreneurs or something like that. That is a really good way. I guess I'm hoping that, changing that will change the decision, because I'm not really sure what happened there. But you say, yeah, that is me, flagged often. Yeah. And there's one post that they are flagging that literally just says, it's a picture of Anne. In her picture, it says obstacles to opportunities. And it says like workshops that I'm promoting. And it was flagged. And I'm like, there is nothing, obstacles to opportunities. Like, how is that being flagged? So there's just a lot of funky stuff going on with the AI right now. I'm in the midst of appealing once again, because I'm just like, I don't understand why I'm trying to figure out, because they don't give you an answer, right? They just say, hey, this thing is being flagged, but I'm looking at it and there's no words. There's nothing there. So I am just like, I don't understand how this is being flagged, And because you can't get in touch with the real person, I think that makes it even harder and more difficult. But all that to say is that social media can be helpful for you, but it shouldn't be the end all be all. It can be great for recruitment, but it should not be the end all be all for you. And I highly suggest that you can use it for marketing, but you should be using other things for marketing as well. Somebody on Instagram, he does them in debauchery. He says, crazy how hims can post everything, but I get kicked off all the time. Yeah. I don't understand how, all the time. Like people can, and I don't know if it's like the number of followers or what you have, because there are some people who have the same exact picture. I remember one picture that I had was flagged, and my colleague, literally, I just grabbed the picture from the internet, from her page. And I was like, how is mine being flagged, but hers isn't being flagged, right? Like there's something very fishy going on with Meta. And we know that. We know, brown and black people are getting flagged more than non-brown and black people. So that's something also to think about in your experience when you are marketing for your business. So, and especially if you're marketing something like services as opposed to a product. Now, for those of you who are doing like toys and whatnot, and those are getting flagged like left and right. I think I showed a picture of like everything that I had brought to a conference, the Beyond Leather conference, and they definitely flagged that. And I was like, okay, well, let me archive that. I think it was a picture of my, paddle and my kit, wand kit and all of that stuff. So my E-stem kit. So it's just, it's a lot, and they're flagging more and more and more every single day. Like I said, my profile all of a sudden got flagged, and I'm just like, I don't understand how my profile is being, like my profile bio has been flagged. Just weird, right? Just weird. So just all that to say, like I said, it's great, but make sure you are getting the ins and outs of all the things when it comes to business, and that aren't dependent on social media. So having those systems in place is going to be your best bet. But anyway, when it comes to, courses, workshops, developing courses and workshops, I just did a presentation actually for Spokes Hub for it's called Seduce Your Audience, that just basically how to present. Hi. Thank you for requesting, but I'm not taking any video requests today unless you have a business question. And if you have a business question, you can put it in the chat. And if you have if you don't want to put it in the chat, you can go ahead and use the pinned link there to submit your question. So, let's see. With that said, when thinking about, speaking your audience and creating a workshop, you want to make sure like everything is on point. You want to make sure your slides are really accessible. I remember I saw a presentation, and literally it was like a whole paragraph on a PowerPoint presentation, and the words were so tiny. And this is like in person, on a stage, and she was on stage, and I'm like, nobody can read any of that. And like, it's really, it's not super helpful, right? So I think you should definitely do your part in making sure things are accessible for folks who are visual can see. And if you can't see, maybe then, hearing, saying the quote instead of depending on people to read it from like far away or something like that. But yeah. So anyway, when it comes to delivering your services, it's just really helpful to, again, have that outline, know what you want to do, make sure it's accessible, and that you're delivering quality content. You're doing fact-based content. I remember somebody tried to do a workshop, and it was like all based on personal experience. And although personal experience is very valid, right? Like that's how I talked about front facing and back facing, vulvas and vaginas, right? I'm like, my personal experience is very valid, and that's what informed me. But also, of course, all the studying that I did around that has helped me to gain authority in that subject matter, right? So it's not only about your lived experience, but it also is about the facts, the research, and keeping up with the facts and research. Like if you're not keeping up with the latest data of what's going on, that's really going to hinder your growth. And you're going to be kind of limited in who you're going to be able to connect with in your work. So I highly suggest that you keep up with the stuff when you're creating your courses and workshops. So, all right, let's see. If anybody has any questions, of course you can on Instagram, you can use that pinned link there. And in the comments, I will put the link in the comments here. Let's see. I think that is about it, y'all. I just wanted to come on here today to answer anybody's questions. And if you didn't have any questions, that's perfectly okay. I'm just here to make sure I show up for y'all anytime you have any business questions, and to make sure you are being, successful in your endeavors, right? I want you to be successful. I want you to make sure you're doing the work. I want you to make sure that you're, that you are doing the best you can if you are on this entrepreneurial journey. And I know it's hard, especially if you have a full-time job and you like your full-time job, and being an entrepreneur is not, for the faint of heart, for sure. But it is very, very rewarding. So I just highly encourage you, to step out and to create, because that is going to be what fuels you. And, I think we're all kind of artists in a way, especially in this industry. So, I highly encourage you just to keep creating and keep having fun. And if you need any help with any business stuff, you know where to go. You can always apply to be in my program. Of course, you can apply to be in my Be Successful official program. And, you apply, I interview you and see if you're a good fit. If you're not a good fit, then I kind of refer you to maybe another program that might be a better fit for you. So just wanted to say, hey, that I love you guys. Thank you all for tuning in. You all are amazing, and keep up doing the great work that you're doing. And hit me up if you have any questions. All right, y'all. Have a wonderful, wonderful Saturday, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.